Welcome to the Love That For Us podcast.
Come hang out with us as we explore a holistic approach to entrepreneurship, wellness, and navigating relationships in adulthood.
We'll be getting vulnerable about life and dishing the business expertise we've learned along the way, interviewing industry professionals,
All while you get your weekly dose of girl talk and heart-to-hearts. We're your hosts, Carissa Emiko,
and Ashton Brooke.
and this is the Love That For Us podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. We are super excited to have a guest today, and I'm solo interviewing today. Carissa had a last minute scheduling thing, so it's just Ashton is your host, and I get to interview one of my new friends who is an expert in one of the streams of income areas that we wanted to bring onto the podcast to talk about, because we're nothing if not a podcast that wants to introduce people to more ways to make money and find a niche that works for them. So super excited to talk with Emily today, who I found through just searching for UGC experts and educators and coaches. And I found her and I was like, you're perfect. We need to have you on. Please come educate and bring our audience into the fold of UGC, which is user-generated content. So that's what we're going to dive into today, and I'm super excited. Emily is a UGC creator and coach who has been creating social media content full-time for 6 years and has been a UGC creator for the past year and a half. She has created 600 plus UGC videos for brands, earned $46,000 in her first 12 months as a part-time creator, and now recently started mentoring individuals who want to start their UGC journeys. So freaking dope, Emily. Would you just introduce any other parts of you that our audience might want to know? Like, just give us the overview of who you are and a little bit more than I said in that intro.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I'm excited to be here and talk about UGC because it has been so life-changing and so much fun, honestly, for the last year and a half. But I'm Emily. I am 27 years old, living in Nashville, Tennessee. So my fiance and I moved down about a year ago, and we get married this upcoming September. So UGC has been.
I didn't know that.
I know. We're excited. It's coming up. We've been engaged for 14 months now, so we're ready and counting the days.
Are you getting married in Nashville or some like back home?
So we're actually doing it in Knoxville. I have a huge family, and so does he. My dad is one of 15, and we just wanted something different than the Chicago suburbs where we're both from. So yeah, we're doing it at a beautiful outdoorsy venue closer to Knoxville.
I love that. That's going to be so beautiful. I love that area.
Me too. It should hopefully be, I guess, beginning of fall, but yeah, we're excited.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. So you guys moved to Nashville and you had already been content creating, doing social media, but tell us like how did you get started even in content creation? Because if you're only 27, that means you've been doing that for literally your entire 20s.
Yeah. When I want to say it was 2019, I was still in college at the University of Iowa. So I was a finance major, but definitely, high school and college, I feel like I kind of went through the motions, and you fall into that pressure of like picking what you want to major in and what you want to do for the rest of your life. And I never had anything I was passionate about and just kind of fell into finance and business because my entire family was business majors. So I was like, okay, finance, I like math and money, I can do that. And yeah, majored in finance, got an internship, and then accepted my full-time job in my senior year. But at that point is when I started working with a network marketing company. So that was kind of the start actually of my content creation and social media career. And still do that. And when I said been doing UGC part-time, it's because I still also, and I know you guys have talked about that on the podcast too, but still do that. So that's kind of introduced me into social media content, and I love it. But I also just saw an opportunity and learned about UGC and liked the idea a lot, which I'll go into, of not having to post it on my social media And I
Right.
mean, it was exciting to be able to work with other brands too. And yeah, not have to post it, which I'll talk about.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of like how I got my start. But once I learned about UGC, I was like, okay, this is amazing. I don't have to be constantly bombarding my followers with
Right.
different brands and different posts because I mean, like I said, or like you introduced, I've made over 600 videos and I don't want to be posting a different product
No.
every single day on my actual page. So
Right.
that's the cool
Right.
thing about UGC.
Yeah. So for those who are like, this is a completely foreign phrase and concept, break it down 101. What is UGC?
Yes. So UGC stands for user generated content. And essentially what it is just content made for a brand, but not made by the brand. So it's made by just normal people like you and me. And it's not
Mhm.
like it's not affiliate marketing. It's not celebrities making posts that everybody knows who they are, just trying to get a bigger reach. It's just relatable people making relatable videos that people can connect with and essentially want to buy a product or service that they're creating for. So instead of someone famous with millions of followers being paid $500,000 for one post, brands have realized that they could pay thousands of creators for a ton of videos with that same exact budget. That's honestly going to be more relatable to you and me. So that's essentially what
And that's
UGC
really
is.
why like any company would pursue this as their form of marketing is because like they are paying simple normal people to create their content and ads for them instead of a huge chunk of money for a big influencer or celebrity, right? Like that's really their motivation.
Yeah, exactly. And the videos really are, I mean, they're a big range, but it could be a simple unboxing, it could be a testimony, it could be a review, it could be an educational video talking a little bit more about the product, or pictures. I have some friends that do UGC, they love photography and just do
Yeah.
it for like product photography. So it's cool that it's a wide range and you can kind of pick and
Yeah.
choose what you want to do.
And it's not a brand deal. Like that's not a brand saying, "Hey, we want you to promote this." Cuz like you said, it's not you're not responsible to post the content that you've created. They're just looking for people in their home in their natural environment to use their products and then take your content and market it.
Yes,
Right? Like that's
exactly.
literally the entire thing. So
Yeah.
that's so nice. I love when you were like, I don't want to post 600 things a year, especially if you are growing any type of personal brand. You have to maintain integrity in your brand. But this is such a cool opportunity for people who are good at filming content to make money. So I want to hear more about like, where did you first even learn about this? Were you just seeing other like ads, or what was your first exposure to this being even an opportunity that you could get into?
Yeah, I think the very first thing I saw about it was on TikTok. I saw somebody just posting about how they recently started doing UGC, and I was like, what is that? And the first thing that drew me in was they talked about how you don't need to post and you don't need a following. Like most of the brands that I work for have no clue what my personal social medias are. So it really
Mm,
doesn't matter. Like you could have 100 followers and be doing this because it's not tied to your personal social media at all. So I think that's one of the first
love
things
that.
that drew me in because I have been, working on social media for a long time, and it honestly can be hard to grow a following, especially when you
Hmm.
see people with 100, 200, 300,000 followers, and you know that's really where you can make a lot of money. But this was like a secret loophole to make a lot of money without needing followers. So that's one
Yeah.
of the first things that I was like, okay, I need to look into this.
And are you someone that when you saw that, you're like, I can do that, and then you just deep dive into it, learn it, and go for it? Is that kind of your personality for streams of
Yes.
income for yourself?
Exactly. So once I looked into it a little bit, I started just looking for example ads and I really just saw how simple they were and saw that just like the content creation style. And I was like, okay, well, I've already been doing this exact thing and like have the skills to create this content for the past few years. So yeah, I, in my mind was like, all right, if this is
Check.
how it's done, like I need to, yeah, I could do this.
For sure. What would you say? Obviously, people who love content creation would be a good fit, but who else might be a good fit for creating UGC content that might be listening, but they're like, oh, I'm not an influencer and I don't do social selling. What could that person have in their own skill set that maybe they don't even realize? I can do UGC and I can make real money doing it.
Yeah, so I think, and a big question I do get is like, do you need to be face on camera? Which I will say, I would say yes. I mean, some people do it and just do voiceovers, which, I mean, if you want to be a voiceover specialist, like I'll talk about Fiverr in a little bit, which is where I get a lot of my deals, but you totally can. But I will say one thing is at least like having some comfort being on camera, and it doesn't have to be like talking face to camera all the time, but it could be if I was filming for this cup, like just sitting on my couch, like just being comfortable in front of the camera. But yeah, you don't have to have a background in content creation or really know much about it, I would say. And I've helped moms that say they, I mean, have all these products that they love or they love for their kids that they want to talk about. And that is like a super relatable standpoint. Or, I mean, fitness, there's so many fitness brands that just want to be showing their product in a relatable setting. So, I mean, yeah, there's so many people. My fiance has no background in being in front of camera or making anything, but a lot of guys, honestly, they're looking for guy creators. So they'll even ask me, or I'll like, we'll make scripts together sometimes, or he'll just make scripts. So yeah, you really don't need a lot of experience with it as long as you're willing to maybe get a little bit out of your comfort zone and get yourself in front of the camera and just learn as you go. Because when I started UGC, I mean, I didn't know anybody doing it and just kind of dug through some stuff and pretty much learned from the ground up, but it was all new to me. The content, the script writing, like everything was new to me. And I mean, I wasn't great at it in the beginning, but I mean, you learn as you go. So as long as you're
which is
willing to
so
try.
true for, it's so true for any business startup idea that someone has. Like everyone starts from zero. And I love your specific story because of how quickly you have grown in the last year and a half. Like you shared with me personally, like what you made last year, and that's lower than you're making this year. And we're only in March. So like, I love your story because it just is such a true representation of I started at nothing. I didn't know anything, but all the information is available to you or for free in a lot of cases. It's on TikTok and people are sharing freely, or it's available in forms of education or communities that are helping people do this. And so I think it's such a good, I guess, story for someone to envision themselves in who might want to do this and be like, okay, yeah, I am willing to put in the work. What if I could be where Emily's at a year and a half from now? Like, am I willing to do that and try that? I'm curious too with when you mentioned that they are looking for guys to do more videos, do they just reach out to you and say, can your fiance film? Or like, does he have his own Fiverr account? Like, how does that work?
He doesn't have his own, but yeah, they've reached out. Sometimes they will specify, or if they have a script in mind or a brief, they'll ask almost like, do you have a significant other or like somebody that could film this part? Sometimes I'll throw it out too if I could, I don't know, if I see kind of a vision for it or like a use in the video, then I'll just kind of offer it because it could either be an add-on to a video I'm already doing by kind of like upselling by him doing stuff.
Right.
But on Fiverr, yeah, I've just kind of glanced through other UGC creators. And I mean, there are a lot of guys doing it. And I feel like there's definitely less guys than girls right now doing UGC. And that's why brands, I mean, are looking for guy creators.
That makes sense. Okay, so we've mentioned Fiverr, and I know what that is, but most people don't know what that is. So let's go back. How does someone get into this? Like, where do they start? You mentioned this app. So kind of walk us through someone starting out, step one.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, when I started, it was a lot of trial and error, and I didn't do Fiverr right away. But my biggest recommendation to start, if you were to start right now today, is to make a Fiverr account. And I'll get into some things you could do after that. But Fiverr is essentially an online marketplace where you can sell any service. So, I mean, you could do voiceovers, you could do video editing, you could do photography, you can edit documents. Like there's so many random things that you can do on Fiverr. So UGC creation is one of them, and that's what I have. So you'll make an account and it's called a gig. So you'll create a UGC gig and you'll price your services. And how it works on Fiverr is you'll simply do a 15-second video, a 30-second video, and like 45 to 60-second videos. And then brands will see your page and see your gig, and they'll just buy that package. And then you'll create the video, all the communications through Fiverr. So Fiverr has definitely been a game changer and has brought so many, probably majority of the deals that I've done, which is nice because you can pitch brands too with UGC, but it does take a while to look for brands, look for emails, actually send the emails just to maybe get 1 out of 10 deals. So
Right.
Fiverr has been nice for almost the convenience of just brands coming to you constantly.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's not an Instagram profile, but it is a profile of your portfolio where brands are specifically on that app looking for creators. And
Yes.
so you have created a portfolio there where they're, and I've seen yours because you showed me, and now like brands are leaving you reviews and you've built this momentum where it's like, she's clearly a trustworthy creator.
Mm-hmm.
And through that momentum and consistency, brands are like, yep, I want her. You have your packages set up for them to look at, and then you go through the communication process, and the deal creates itself, right?
Yes, exactly.
I'm curious, like, do most people have a deal that they want like 30 seconds or 60 seconds? Like, what's the average that a brand might want as far as like how long your video even is for them?
I would say the average is like 25 to 35 seconds. I feel like that's kind of the sweet spot for just creating an engaging ad that's going to keep viewers watching. Sometimes, I mean, I do get quite a few requests for 60 seconds, but I personally think, I mean, people's attention spans aren't long. So if
No.
they ask my recommendation, I usually sell that 30-second package and make the video anywhere from, like 25 to 40 seconds max. But that's usually the sweet
ask
spot.
because that's just not like, a 30-second video is so short. And so, not that this doesn't require skill, preparation, and intention behind what you're creating for a brand, but it's not like you're filming this 2-minute ad and like trying to piece together, like, you're really creating a very short clip because ads are short, because of attention spans. And so I think that even makes it more attainable for people to do when you realize, like, I just am working with a 30-second video I have to create. Like, that feels really in reach for a lot of people who might want to venture into this. It feels a little more disarming. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It definitely is. And I was going to say, when you look into it, like, it is more simple than it seems to. Like earlier today, I filmed for a water bottle brand. They wanted a 30-second video. And when it comes down to those 30 seconds, like you said, it's so short. And you'll make the hook is like the first 3 to 5 seconds. That's really going to draw people in. And then at the end, the call to action tells people where to go next. So whether it's to buy it today or go to this website to get it. And then once you have those two things, the middle of the video is maybe 15 to 20 seconds, just explaining like 3 to 5 highlights about it. And that is it. So yeah, in terms of filming some of them, and this is another thing I love about UGC, but you can 100% do it with a full-time job. And I mean, you could be so busy with your full-time job and still have time to do UGC, just because when it comes down to actually filming, a lot of my deals, it will take 5 to 15 minutes, I would say, to actually do the filming.
Wow.
And then it's like you could do that in the morning before work or right after and just relax on the couch and edit it and submit it. Like, it is so flexible.
Wow. That's incredible. And I think, yeah, it's like the ROI, like the investment you make for your time and content creation skills, like it pays off because as you have helped me understand, you start a little bit at a lower, profit range so
Mm-hmm.
that brands can work with you, build the momentum, build your portfolio, and then you can increase your prices. So what's a realistic profit range for someone who can do this? Let's say, because you just gave a good example, I want to speak to the person who has a full-time job, but everyone's out here looking for side hustle that's easy to do from home. So what do you think someone can make? Let's say they have, 1 to 5 hours a week that they could give right now to start with UGC. Like, what can someone make per month, you think?
Yeah, so on Fiverr, pricing is a little bit different than, and we can talk about finding deals off of Fiverr or pitching through email or the other ways to find deals. But on Fiverr, since you do start with just a very kind of bare portfolio and you need some reviews, and once you get a couple deals under your belt and get a couple reviews, you'll gain credibility in the app and it will push you to more buyers. So that's why starting with a lower price does help you, because you'll get more deals faster. In turn, I mean, you're going to be making more in the long run, but it,
Right.
I mean, helps to start with a little bit lower. So yeah, I would say say those 15-second, 30-second, 45-second price range, a good starting point on there, I would say, is like $50 for the 15-second video, maybe 75 for the 30-second, and 90 for the 45-second.
Yeah, which if you think about how that pays out hourly, like that's a great starting point for anyone to do that just on the side. I'm curious, like how you went from part-time to full-time. Was it just because you saw how much you were making per video, and as you increased prices, you were like, this is legit income, I'm just going to focus all my time? Like, how did that transition go for you?
Yeah, and I feel like it mainly was, I mean, exactly what you said, just being able to raise my prices really whenever I wanted. And then the demand for videos just honestly continued to pick up. So it really kind of just naturally got to the point where I was so busy just with constant video requests. And I mean, I love doing it and it's a ton of fun. Just seeing the requests for videos, increasing prices, and honestly, just loving doing it. I was like, I'm just going to do this full time instead. And yeah, I still continue. Basically, when I just have too many requests, that's when I choose to raise my prices. And I do know people on Fiverr that have their prices pretty much doubled mine. So there is a
Wow.
lot of room still to go.
That's wild. Okay, so when you're working with these brands, do they like send you their products? Is because it's all product based, right?
Yeah, it's pretty product heavy. There's also apps that I'll film for, or websites,
Okay.
which I do like those ones because, I mean, when you're talking to them, a deal will come in and you don't have to wait for the shipping time.
Yeah.
So those ones, I mean, there's been times, for example, like a car insurance brand that was like, hey, I need this 60-second video. Can you film it in a car? And I was like, I could do this today. So I literally got the script that they wanted, went down to my car, filmed it, and I'd say like 10 minutes, and turned it in for $190. Like,
That's
it
crazy.
is, I mean, obviously some of them take more editing and footage, but
Yeah.
like that was just me talking face to camera for a minute and it was like edited and done.
And
Obviously
as you go ahead.
I was going to say, obviously, like they're not all that simple, but a lot of them,
Yeah.
especially on Fiverr, are, which is cool.
I'm guessing as you started from zero experience and just kept going, even the scripts start to write themselves because you're like, hook, what I love about this, call to action, like that becomes so easy and natural. So for you to go into your car and film an insurance gig, it's just probably so effortless as you have this momentum built of like your skills developing, your content creation like skills are increasing. And that's especially why it probably pays off so well now, because it just doesn't take that much effort since you've been doing this so much and so consistently. Like, does that ring true for you?
Yeah, it definitely is more routine. And now I'll just like make coffee in the morning and write whatever scripts I need to. And it's just like relaxing, honestly, just to get the scripts ready for the day. And then I'll carve out maybe 1 to 2 hours of like actually filming, and I'll edit a little bit right after I film. So yeah, I feel like it's definitely a routine now, and it's fun.
Do
But yeah, and
you,
with I was going to say, with your last question with the products, that's the other cool part is brands will send you products, and I mean, you keep them all. So we've
yeah,
gotten a mattress, the standing
wow.
desk, like walking pads, so many cool things that it's like you actually need or want to use.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get rid of them, you can always sell
You
them or
could sell it on
something.
Facebook.
Yeah.
What's the best product you've gotten that like you still use today and you love?
I feel like my standing desk and walking pad are, I mean, two that I use probably every single day. There's a lot of cool, like I've worked with Seed Probiotic, and that's like when I tried them the first time, and I was like super excited about it. Mattress, a bed frame, like our bed frame is literally
That's
a UGC
awesome.
deal. So yeah, it's cool. There's a wide range of stuff,
For
but it makes
sure.
it fun.
That's awesome. Um, do you have to, when it comes to like editing skills, are you sending everything edited, or do some brands like just want your raw footage? Like, how does that play out?
It's definitely a mix. I'd say most of the time, probably 75% of the time, I fully edit and send the edited
Okay.
videos. And I always send them with and without captions. So if they want to put
Okay.
other captions, or if they, don't want captions or have a specific style that they always use, then they can at least edit that on by themselves. But I always add it into that. And then sometimes videos, they will just want the raw footage, or if they want a fully edited video and they request raw footage, then I'll actually charge extra to send the raw footage. So there's
Okay.
some kind of ways that you can
Upsell.
upcharge. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do raw footage. You can do extra hooks, extra calls to actions that they can kind of make different variations of the videos. So there's
You're a UGC wizard. I love hearing all of this because there are so many layers that go. It's like it can be so simple, and it can also be this service you're providing where, yeah, there are options to make more money. And I'm curious also if like brands have ever repeated gigs with you, or like just given you a different product. Like, are there ever repeating brands that love you and want to come back working with you?
Yes, I'd say at least like I want to say my number on Fiverr right now is like 72 brands have come back, and I mean a lot of them
Whoa.
have come back like 3, 4, 5 times, and it is nice, and they leave review, like they still continue to leave reviews, and it's nice when those ones come through because I know I'm pretty
Yeah.
much guaranteed like a good 5-star
Yeah.
review, and a lot of times a tip too. They could tip you on Fiverr.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
nice.
a lot are repeat. And then I have a couple deals off of Fiverr that are like monthly retainers. So a brand that says like, I want 5 videos every single month, or I want 10 videos every single month. So those are obviously separate than Fiverr, but
Yeah.
yeah, other deals that are
Those are
just
like big
consistent.
package deals for you to make even more money. Okay. So when you're submitting content, is all of that submitted through the app Fiverr, or do they like send you a link to upload? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so on Fiverr, kind of the process is a buyer will buy your gig, your video package, and then you'll film or however many days it takes. And then when they buy that package, though, they are essentially paying Fiverr, the platform. And then
Okay.
I'll upload the video onto Fiverr. And then when they accept it, then Fiverr releases the money to me. So
Got
Fiverr is
it.
kind of the middleman for those
Right.
instances. But it's kind of nice to keep it all organized because there are times, and when you are working through UGC or honestly probably any brand deals, not having a platform like that, that's when contracts become involved. Or, I
Mm,
mean, there have been times where a brand says, like, yeah, I'll pay on PayPal within this many days. And then I'm like following up, emailing, just
yeah.
trying to get paid. So that does happen. But yeah, with Fiverr, it's honestly way easier just because they are the middleman.
Have you ever seen like your video come across when you're scrolling Instagram? You're like, oh my gosh, that's me.
I've seen it a couple times, not as many times as I would expect, but I have had a few people send me stuff. Actually, last night a girl sent me and she's like, hey, you just popped up on my feed.
That's so funny.
So it is pretty funny when it happens, but sometimes I will, if it's a brand like that I'm really excited about and that has a big social media following, sometimes I'll even just kind of go look to see if they've posted it or just look to see how the video is doing. But it is funny when it's just like, especially when it's an ad that pops up, it is just like so unexpected.
I would definitely be stalking the brands that like post specifically to their feed, not just an ad. I'd be like, oh my gosh, how are the people responding to it? That's so funny. Okay. So you're doing this full time now, which I just think is so freaking cool. And then where you started including education in this, like tell me about how you got started with that and what that looks like now.
Yeah, so I've been doing it full time for a little while, and I think a lot of people have started to know that I'm doing it full time and just the success that's come with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have started getting a lot of questions of just how to get started, or they started but just have just so many questions along the way. So I did start coaching and created a couple different resources. I made a community, which I love. It's definitely newer, but I just love the community aspect of, and in my network marketing company too, like it's just so much more fun to do it together, especially when you just work for yourself and you're home 24/7 just working and not having community.
Exactly.
I thought it would be fun to have that. So I made a community chat that really is, 24/7 coaching, because you can just message anytime in there, and I pop in multiple times a day and can answer any questions or send voice memos back and forth, or can help write scripts with each other, or if people have a deal, just say like, hey, what should I charge, or things like that.
Yeah.
So the community is a ton of fun, and then wrote a guide just with everything that I've learned in the past year and a half kind of poured into there.
That's so valuable. I think the community, like, and the ability to chat and ask all the questions is where, the most value comes for people who want to start with this, because like me, I was looking for that. I'm like, I want to do this, but I'm someone that as much as I can stalk like TikTok content and get as much as I can for free, I still can feel really overwhelmed by it. And I kind of just need someone to be like, let me show you what I did. Here's the process, and take what feels really overwhelming and put it into simple steps. And that's literally what you have done. And that's why I wanted to share about that, because I know that this episode is going to resonate with people who are like, I can do this, and they can plug into your community and have this really valuable access to you to get their questions answered as they're starting from nothing, as they're growing, as they need to like enter that new level of, okay, I need to raise my prices. I need to keep building this, but maybe there's just like, you get to another level of something and you might feel a little bit unsure. And like, that's what I love about the community you created, is people can lean on you at whatever level they're at. So I want to, and we will plug your Kwak. Am I saying it right? Kwak Creative.
Yeah.
Okay. Your community and your guide and stuff in our show notes, so people can directly click on that. I would say give Emily a follow too. I just think you're such a fun follow to see how you're showing up on socials. But like you said, this really isn't, all this stuff isn't posted on your socials. So you're not even going to see really the specific content, but you have your personal, and then you have your Kwak Creative page. So we will link all of that in there. What else? How would you wrap this up with like, not convincing someone to do this, but just inspiring people? Like, how can we wrap this up with Emily's go-to pitch for just like, freaking go for it? What would you tell someone that's like, I'm on the fence, but I'm so curious?
Yeah. If you are someone that wants to make, even if it's just a little bit of extra money, whether you have a full-time job or, part-time job, or freelancing and just trying to make money different ways, it is so flexible. So it's like, why not just, and to make a Fiverr gig takes 5 to 10 minutes. And then from there, you could just kind of sit back and relax and wait for brands to come to you. So it's not like you have to dive in and start pitching brands and emailing them and reaching out on socials. You can simply just take that little baby step to start and then just see how it goes from there, because that's honestly how I started. And I mean, I was doing network marketing full time when I started, and I was like, let's just see what it does. Even if it makes a couple $100 a month by making a few videos, like it's worth it, because one, it's simple. It doesn't take a lot of time out of your schedule. So it is an awesome way if you are looking to make, I mean, $200, $500, $1,000 a month. Like, I mean, it's uncapped too if you keep growing from there. Right. But I mean, it's an awesome way to start if that money and if a little side income is helpful to you. So yeah, I'd say
it is for everyone. So
yeah, exactly. And free products are cool too. And
so true. I love a free product.
Yes.
What do you do when, like, you do so many that, what do you do with all that stuff? You know, obviously it's like boxes and all this mail coming to your house. Do you end up selling a lot, or like, I'm just curious practically how that plays out in your apartment?
I know, and our apartment is pretty small right now, but we do have a garage. So I have just like a big bin of stuff. And then, I don't know, some stuff I have sold along the way. Like I did some videos for this super fancy, like expensive art supplies. And it was like beautiful gold. And I was like, I am not an artsy person and don't know how to use this. So I did the video and just put it up on Facebook Marketplace, because I'm like, someone else can enjoy this, because each piece was like $200 to $300, and they sent me like 10 pieces. So yeah, some of it I'll sell if I'm like, I'm not going to use this.
Hey, more money in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Got a little side business with UGC.
Literally. You're like, actually the income compounds over here because you don't have to keep everything. So
I know. Like, we already have a mattress, but it's just the mattress I filmed for is in the garage. I'm like, well, it could be a guest bed when we get a house.
That's true. Oh, that's so fun. I love this. This is so much good information. And I just want to thank you for letting everyone into your wisdom and experience with this, because I have never even stumbled across an episode about this in the podcast I follow and business people that I follow. So this is just going to be really cool to allow people to get curious about this. And I do hope that people venture into it. I really hope people join your community, because it's such a freaking great value for the support that they can get and just getting started. So hopefully I see familiar names pop up in our chat in the next couple weeks. And yeah, thank you again for your time.
Yes, thank you. And I also do want to throw in, with the community, if you do join, I just finished the guide, but by joining the community, you'll get the guide for free. So once you join the community, I will, send that your way too. You don't have to like buy it separate. So that, I mean,
it's a steal, you guys.
Definitely help you get started. And yeah, like I said, in the community, you have 24/7 support, and it's fun. And we do weekly calls too. So just Zoom calls where you can pick my brain, ask questions, and just get help to get started.
Literally, what more do people need? It's everything at their fingertips. It's so good. I love it. Okay, Emily. Well, thank you so much for being on the pod, and we appreciate you so much. Hopefully people connect with you on Instagram. Oh, what are your Instagram handles before I forget?
They are Emily Kwak, and Kwak has an extra K, Kwakk. And then Kwak Creative.
Awesome. Go give her a follow. You guys will not regret it. And we love you. Thanks for listening.
Awesome. Thank you.